Well, hey there. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to, the greatest YouTube channel for 47 years running and the most important video that you'll ever see in your life. Now, let me make sure that I have all the camera focused and everything straight right now. I'm having camera issues as well as lighting issues. And I think that's why I wanted to start out this video imperfect, because all my videos are imperfect. But we live in a world where we have curated feeds, we have curated videos, we want everything to be presented to us perfectly, well thought out and orchestrated. I have plenty of people accuse me of just being some rambling idiot on the internet. And hey, I'm honored, right? But the title of this video goes right along the lines of the kind of look at me attitude that people have in the world. And I'm not immune to that. And I've questioned myself over the years of, well, why do I have a YouTube channel? Why do I care if people watch my videos? Now, I know a lot of people have this mentality that anybody who has a channel wants to grow it as fast as possible. The same mentality where a lot of people say if you have a business, you want to make it as big as possible. That's never been my viewpoint on life. I want something that's manageable. So, to give you an example, all YouTube channels are there because they either want to be heard, have their voices heard, or make an income while being heard. And that's understandable. But I refuse to compromise my integrity or jump down one angle. And I'm going to get to this and why this is important to me. But if you take an extreme position and you scream loud enough, everybody will flock to your viewpoint. Now, you will have haters from the other side, but if you're taking an extreme viewpoint that others completely disagree with, and a lot of people disagree with it, then you will get both a lot of feedback, positive and negative, and eventually your echo chamber will, be fulfilled. There is neutral territory where people talk about neutral substance. Situations or neutral subjects, but even like a science channel, for example. But even then, things can get into the realm of, oh, well, maybe this is true, maybe it isn't. There's a lot of controversy online. My thing is not to scream the loudest and to give you bullshit that you want to hear. I'm always giving you opinions that are my own and facts that I've learned as well as I can present them. Intention is everything. Of all the videos I have on YouTube, the ones I talk about herbs, not just kratom, but ashwagandha and others, mucuna, canna, I've had so many views on those videos that there was a point where I said, well, I could just make herb videos all day long. And I'd have millions of views if that was my intent, but it's not. My intent is to actually share ideas. And so here I am on YouTube 10 years later, taking my own position and speaking my own voice, and found that the middle ground is very lonely. Now I might have what people would consider biased or extreme opinions on certain subjects, but really just because I vocalize something doesn't mean I'm very tied up in it. I don't get emotional about politics, I don't get emotional about religion or about what other people believe and think. One of the most valuable lessons that I've learned, besides changing my own thoughts, learning about mental alchemy, was not giving a shit what other people are doing with their lives. And there's an important distinguish. You have to distinguish between not caring what people do with their lives and not caring about people at all. Because I do. I'm interested in people, and I like to hear about other people's stories. Storytelling is like one of my favorite things. And I've wanted to turn this channel into a storytelling type channel, but I'll get to that another time. I'm hoping that let's say a lot of subjects, if I were a guy talking on YouTube just about politics all day long, that would be painful for me. The people who do that can build a huge audience fast, but then they have to deal with that feeling inside that, oh, I've got to argue or prove my position. And the question, I guess, is, are you here to discuss things or to get people to agree with you? And I find that it's much more rewarding when we have different opinions, but we don't put each other down for them. And that's, of course, very difficult in 2020. But the storytellers out there, a lot of these positions people take, let's say a person gets their 15 minutes of fame, like Jordan Peterson, for example, if you know who that is. Something happens in society where the person fits that moment. What I would like to do is work slowly towards an end, which would mean when I'm older, then when I'm in my 60s, 70s, then I want to be a storyteller. So I want to develop the stories now, develop the understanding now, and work towards that goal because I know that I can achieve it. Rather than trying to jump right into something right now and say, oh, I can write these amazing books. It's like I've always wanted to be an author. And it's building organically. If you build something organically, it takes a lot longer. It's like building a business or building something without the guise of a lot of advertising or promotion, just letting it grow on its own. And speech is a skill, and I'll admit, I have a hard time sometimes with speech. Even though I speak freestyle in my videos, I, of course, get wrapped up in a certain subject or another. I'm trying to learn to engage the viewer, to make something interesting and tell a story, because telling a story is really what it's all about. And I have a few stories I'd like to share down the road, but I thought about a few of the issues that, besides the stories, and this is the important part of the video in my opinion, what I really wanted to convey here. When people have, there's always, no matter what subject, let's say I tackle, or any YouTuber tackles out of the blue, so there's always somebody to say, oh, you should stick to A or B and not get into this. And I think that's preposterous because we're all part of this society and we all have to have input, right? It's silence is compliance. It's just allowing you to be steamrolled. So you have to at least speak your mind on it to see how others feel. So in the world, for example, the big issues we have issues with culture, with different races, different countries, people fighting over borders, people fighting over resources, and religion. You know, a variety of different wars for resources and for misunderstandings and maybe legitimate causes. I don't know. The point being that those are issues that we have to weigh in on because we're all affected by them. When the world's at war, when the world's in chaos, we're at chaos. Now, when you move from the world down to country, then you have things like education. Do we or don't we fund public schools? You know, what is an education? You know, is what they're teaching valid? You have science. Are people paid off to reach certain conclusions? Science as a whole is a great method, but then there's a lot of misunderstandings and a lot of people who are paid to come up with whatever solution you want. Then there's social programs, welfare, things like that, helping people. How much do we help people? How much do we say pull yourself up? Or that old term, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, which is a misnomer because it's impossible to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Some people are just so screwed in this society that if we don't pull them out for them, then we're all going to suffer because of it. But to what limit on that? We have laws. You know, what laws should stop people from invading our space, but also how many laws prevent us from doing what we want to do? Or drug laws, drug culture, the different aspects of it. Corruption and taxes and what they're going to. And that's just in the country, the bigger picture, right? When we move down to the local, we have parks. We have to figure out zoning laws, where to put buildings, where not to put buildings, whether we're going to allow a chemical plant or a gas station near a neighborhood, or how big these neighborhoods should be, or whether suburbia is going to clog the freeways. Then we have to worry about the same things, regulations, laws, taxes, and leadership. Then you move down to the family, and this is where it really starts to get personal. We have people debating what is a good parenting method. Is capital punishment legitimate? Should we be able to spank our own children? Or should the law step in and stop that? And if you can, to what degree should you be able to, blister their ass, right? And these issues affect us all. So we've also got lifestyle, how people should live. People are worried about how other people take care of their yard, whether it brings their property value down. We have schooling, of course, within the parenting realm, whether we want our kids learning certain things in school or not. Then we have diet, where we have people doing their best to feed their kids decent food, and then others who are just completely irresponsible and just fill our kids up with KFC every night because it's simpler. And hey, man, we're all guilty of quick and easy meals as parents. That's the problem, though. What are we eating? What are we doing? Are we endangering our kids or our family? These are all big questions, but these are all societal questions. What about personal? What about the inner problems that we have as individuals? The same things: diet, health. Should I be taking this superfood? Is this supplement going to actually help me? Am I going to benefit from this relationship? Should I abandon this old friend or even a family member because they're too toxic? We have beliefs. Maybe you're joining a religion or leaving a religion. Or politics. You have somebody in your family who believes in a right wing, you believe in a left wing, and you're both the same damn bird, but at the same time you're all getting wrapped up in who's right and who's wrong, and meanwhile everybody's getting steamrolled by the propaganda that is just fucking flooding the internet, and the internet is where we get our information now. We've lost trust. We start to lose trust as individuals. We might lose our friendships or give up on them. And the two things that are maybe the most important to hang on to that we lose: patience and understanding. Not tolerance, because tolerance is, by definition, tolerating something. It means you don't approve of it, but you have to put up with it. That is part of it. But I'm talking about real, true understanding of one another and our needs. To not cast half of your own country under the bus. Or to think that everyone else in your family is the problem. Everybody else is the problem. That's why you're isolated, because everybody else is screwed. We start to look at the big picture and say, can we admit that maybe we are the problem? As an individual, or as a family, or as a city, as a state, as a nation, or a problem just as a species in general. Intention really is everything. And so I guess I'm grateful that I have a voice on these issues and that I can speak up. But I should also say that I bite my tongue a majority of the time when I have an opinion on something these days, like climate change or how it's affecting the world. Whenever you get into a discussion, it becomes, oh no, we need fossil fuels. Not an issue of whether climate change is even totally human-caused or not. We're at the point now where we can't have simple discussions about what's happening around us. We can't even talk about the virus because people want to say it's downplayed or it's fake, or we should be talking about something else, or they're keeping us sheep penned in. Then there's the other people who, that fear every little thing that comes our way and say that everything's just faked because, well, we can't handle reality anymore. And it's easy to want to step back and abandon any contribution to all the bullshit stories out there. Why should we put in our 2 cents? Let people believe what they want to believe and do what they want to do. But it's causing real world harm. It can cause much worse, but I'm just going to leave it at that. My thoughts for the day. So, thanks to all of you who comment, and we've had some interesting discussions over the years. I just want to say that obviously thanks to my patrons. I was previously posting the names of my patrons, but I don't have a computer right now to upload, or not a movie making program that functions, so I just kind of have to upload a video. But thank you all. And I've been uploading daily short podcasts to my Patreon channel for my patrons. So there's more of those up there too, if you haven't seen those. And I wish you all a wonderful day, and to take care of each other. I'll talk to you next time. Be well.